I am celebrating one of my badass Academy clients who has been binge-free for 14 days now while baking sourdough bread and being patient with her kids, not snappy or irritable with them. This client is literally such a badass. She was in one of my programs a few months ago, and she recently messaged me saying, I think I'm ready for your membership. Like, what does that entail? What does that look like? And we were chatting back and forth, and we both came to the realization that she is wanting very high-level support. She wants support. She wants customization. She wants accountability. She wants to be able to ask her questions whenever she wants. She just wants basically, the reassurance that she's on the right path, because she's ready for her binge-free life. Like, there's literally no doubt about it. She's ready for freedom. She's ready to conquer binge eating. She's ready for her binge-free life. And I told her, I was like, you need to be inside of the academy. I'm like, this is literally your next step, especially because you're wanting that personalization, the customization, and the ability to ask her questions whenever you want. Like, that is really what the academy is all about. And like I said, she's ready for her binge-free life. She's not questioning it. She knows that she's going to conquer binge eating. So I told her that the academy would be the best fit. And a few days later, she messaged me. She's like, I'm in. My husband and I both agree that the academy is the best place. Like, I'm ready to do this for good. Like, I am ready to join the academy. So we have been working together inside of the academy for just over 2 weeks, and she has been binge-free ever since. And I want to walk you through what she has been focusing on, because it's no coincidence. Like, all of the clients that I work with who conquer binge eating, who have these binge-free weeks and binge-free months, all have very similar quality traits, and they're willing to shift their thinking. They're willing to think differently. They're willing to take different action. They're willing to show up for themselves. They're willing to put in the work. And I want to break down a few things that she really has been focusing on to have this success that she has. So the first thing is she is really prioritizing spending quality time with the people that she loves, her friends, her family, her kiddos, her husband, and even baking, which is such a big hobby for her that she really enjoys. She is prioritizing that over what she's eating and letting those sneaky diet culture thoughts win. So one night she had some company over and they enjoyed pizza. And the next morning, she made her sourdough blueberry muffins. Honestly, this client is incredible. Like, she makes sourdough bread. She makes sourdough cookies with her kids. She makes sourdough blueberry muffins. And she makes bagels and just all these different things. Anyways, so she made these sourdough, I think it was muffins or I think it was actually bagels. And previously, she would have been like, well, you had pizza last night. Like, you can't have a bagel this morning, you shouldn't be eating that. But she knows the importance of allowing herself to enjoy satisfying meals. She knows how important it is to honor her cravings, because she's here for her binge-free life. She doesn't want any more urges. She's willing to do what it takes, and she knows how important it is to not just choose like the lowest calorie option, or to not just, force herself to have something different in the morning. Like, she really wanted these blueberry sourdough bagels. So she was like, I'm going to have that just because I had pizza last night. That does not mean that I need to restrict myself. That does not mean that I need to just have like something else in the morning. She wanted these blueberry sourdough bagels. So she made them. She ate them without feeling anxious, without overeating, because she's actually listening to her body. Where do you say, oh, well, I had ice cream today, so like tomorrow I need to not have carbs? Or I had pizza yesterday, so tomorrow for breakfast I'm just going to have like vegetables. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as it's coming from a pure place of like, this is what I'm actually craving. Again, this client really wanted pizza one night, and then the next morning she wasn't like, oh, well, because I had pizza, like I need to restrict myself. She was like, what sounds good right now is sourdough, blueberry, bagels, and she had it. Okay. The second thing, which kind of ties into the first one, but she's actually allowing herself to enjoy the foods that were once triggering for her, aka bread, so she can actually take those foods off of a pedestal, have them be less triggering, and she can enjoy them without binging. This is very important. She is not worried about binging on sugar foods. She knows she is ready for her binge-free life, and she's willing to put in the work to get there. So she's focusing more on, okay, what are the steps that I need to take to stop binge eating versus letting the fear win and continuing to do what she's always done in the past, which is fear trigger foods, which really just led her into binging. So this is key. She's willing to do things differently. I told her, because she said, baking used to be a huge trigger food, a huge triggering thing for me, because every single time I would bake, especially whether it's cookies or bread, I would always binge. And I told her, this is where you got to trust yourself. This is where you got to be willing to do things differently. And she is. Literally, she's like, yep, I've been baking. I literally see her story. She's been making, like I said, sourdough blueberry muffins. She's been making sourdough cookies with her kids. She's making sourdough bread. Everything just looks amazing, but she's not letting fear win. She's actually leaning into the fear, allowing herself to bake and prove to herself that she can trust herself. All of you guys can trust yourself. But you're not going to be able to trust yourself if you never allow yourself to do the thing that feels scary, right? So imagine if this client was like, oh no, I can't bake because I'm always going to binge. Well, then she never would be able to enjoy these things without feeling like she's going to binge, because she actually leaned into the fear and she's allowing herself to bake, right? The sourdough bread, the sourdough muffins, the sourdough cookies. She's proving to herself, I can trust myself. And because of this, she's been able to have her blueberry muffins, her cookies, enjoy a slice of bread or two with full control and no anxiety. Okay, number 3. She is thinking about, how can I best honor my body in this moment versus how many calories am I eating? So the other day, she was super hungry. She was rushing, she had to head over to an appointment, and she ended up going to this place that had wraps and salads. And initially she kind of saw the calories and she was like, whoa, the wrap has a lot of calories, but she blocked that out and she was like, okay, I'm going to get out of my head and into my body, because that was one thing that I really talked about with her. And inside of the academy, you get my personalized coaching. So she asked me a question and I was able to voice message her, and I was sharing with her, you're in your head a lot. So you need to drop out of your head and get into your body. And instead of asking yourself, what should I eat? You have to really tune into your body and ask yourself, what sounds good? What do I actually feel like? And so she implemented, and by the way, this is key. I told her to stop overthinking, to drop into her body and really ask herself, what is she feeling? What sounds good versus what she thinks that she should be eating. And she implemented this right away. So when she saw the wrap and the salad and she saw the calories, initially she was like, oh my gosh, that has so many calories. But again, she didn't let that win. She said, what do I actually feel like? What actually sounds good? And she decided to go for the wrap. And even though she didn't actually have time to eat the wrap because she was literally in a rush to go to her appointment, she looked in her purse and she actually found one of her kids' protein bars. And again, at first, the initial thoughts were like, well, you shouldn't be eating this. You already had a bar today. This also has oats and fruit, and you had oatmeal and fruit for breakfast. So you can't eat that again. And she was like, no, I need to listen to my body. What's the right thing to do right now? I'm literally starving. So I am not going to just wait and literally push off my hunger. The most self-love thing to do is to eat this bar to fuel my body until after my appointment, when I can actually enjoy the wrap. So she had the protein bar, and then she went to her appointment, and then she ended up only having half of the wrap because she was full. She just listened to her body, and then she ended up giving the rest to her husband. This is so important because this would have never happened if, number one, she pushed off her hunger and convinced herself that she can wait. If you constantly tell yourself, oh, I probably shouldn't have the protein bar, I can wait, I'm just going to push it off, you are going to experience an urge. You are going to binge on thousands of calories. She didn't push off her hunger. And then number 2, she didn't freak out about the calories. She could have easily got the wrap and not really enjoy it and then led to a binge when she got home. But instead she was like, what actually sounds good? Okay, the wrap actually sounds really good right now. So she enjoyed it. And as a result of having something that was really satisfying and not pushing off her hunger because she had the protein bar to kind of tie her over, she was able to have half and then literally give the rest to her husband. No overeating, no binging, no F-it mentality, no, oh, well, you had the bar and then you had another bar and now you're eating the wrap and you should have got the salad. So no F-it mentality. It's listening to her body. Okay, number 4 is she is celebrating 14 days binge-free without stressing over when her next binge will come. So she actually asked me in our Academy exclusive group chat, and she said, like, what are your thoughts? Like, I haven't binged in 14 days. Like, should I be planning for when like the next binge will come, or is that like sabotage? And again, because of the Academy, you get personalized coaching with me. I sent her a voice message right away, and I was like, no, like that is going to be self-sabotaging. Like you're going to be robbing yourself of joy. And instead of freaking out about when the next urge will come, like be present, like soak this moment in, like just literally allow yourself to soak it in, feel the gratitude for this moment, like celebrate the crapola out of yourself for the fact that you haven't binged in 14 days. Like you've got my support. You have the most incredible community of other ladies who are on their way to their binge-free life. Like we got you. You're in the Academy. You've got so much support. You've got so much accountability. You're learning how to rewire your brain. You know how to not act on an urge to binge. So you don't even have to worry about an urge coming, because even if an urge does come, you know how to not give in. Even if you do binge, you know how to pick yourself back up. Like all the tools are there for you. And again, she knows this is a journey. It's not linear. So she's not robbing herself of joy. She's not going to be freaking out about like when is the next urge going to come. She's really using this time to be present with her husband, present with her children, and just feeling so grateful for this moment. She actually posted in her group chat. She's like, I got a little emotional the other day and just like, I'm just feeling so grateful that like I feel so free with food. Like for so long I felt in a prison. And, ever since joining the Academy, like I finally just feel so free, and I'm just so grateful for my life and, not being snappy or irritable with my children and not hurrying up and like getting excited for when they have to take a nap, but really just being present with them. Like that's everything. That's everything. So these were just a few things that she's doing, but this client is literally such a badass action taker. She implements every single tool that I teach. Every single time she has a question, she would ask me, and I will answer it. She comes on our coaching calls. She celebrates her wins. She's celebrating other women in the group. She is positive. She is an action taker. Like if I recommend her, hey, this is what you should be doing, she doesn't wait and say, oh, well, like maybe I'll try that next week. She implements it right away. And this is why she's been 14 days binge free, right? And she also, like I said at the very beginning, she knew in her heart and her soul that she's ready for her binge free life. And she knew that like she wanted the top high level support. Right? She was like, I could jump into the membership, but she's like, my heart and soul is telling me that the Academy is for me. So if you're listening to this right now and you're like, I am so ready for my binge-free life. Like I am ready for that. Like I know that I'm going to get there, and I would love to have that personalized coaching, that step-by-step custom game plan to help me get there. This is the Ditch Decade Diets Academy. You need to jump inside. This is where you get high-level, personalized coaching from me to help you step into your binge-free life. You are ready for freedom. You are ready to make peace with all foods. You are ready to get rid of all of your binge urges. You are ready to be so present with your family, your husband, your partner, your children. You are ready for your binge-free life. And if that sounds like you want to be able to ask your questions whenever, you want to be able to have like very high level support with me. We literally do weekly coaching calls on Zoom. You get access to message me personally in our private exclusive group chat. I can voice message you back, text you back. It's literally in the moment coaching, whether you have a thought in your mind of like this client, she was like, Lorna, I haven't binged for 14 days. Like, should I be thinking about the next, when the next urge would come? Like, should I be planning about that? And literally in the moment, I told her exactly what to do. And that really helped her stay in momentum and prevent a binge. Another one of my clients, I think it was like, I don't know, it was a few weeks, like she hasn't binged. And she was like, now like my dad is really focusing on nutrition because he's going through a few things. And she's like, I'm not really letting that bug me. Like, I'm not getting in my head thinking that now all of a sudden I need to make tweaks with my diet, but just curious, like, should I be concerned? Should I be worrying about this? And I was like, no, like, you're on your path. Like, you are healing your relationship with food. You are rewiring your brain. Like, trust the process. And again, she's been in constant momentum ever since. And this is the power of that personalization, the accountability. I call our weekly coaching calls like momentum calls. Every single week, you're in constant momentum. And this journey is not linear. There will be times where maybe you binge, or there might be times where you're having a bad body image day, but you come onto these coaching calls and you leave every single call feeling like you're a freaking badass who is going to conquer binge eating, because it's true. When you're in the academy, you're done with like binge-free days and binge-free weeks. Like, you've already had binge-free days, you've already had binge-free weeks, like you've already released your food rules, but now you're ready to take things to the next level and you are ready to step into your binge-free life. You are ready to step into the person that you know you were meant to be, a badass who no longer identifies as a binge eater. So if this sounds like you can message me on my Instagram Academy and I will send you all the details. If you know you are ready for that high level support, you're ready to step into your binge-free life, this is your time. This is the program to jump into. So whether you've never done a program with me and you're like, I'm ready to go all in, or maybe you're inside of my membership and you want to upgrade, maybe you're inside of Conquer and you're ready for more like personalized coaching, you can just message me on my Instagram Academy. And again, I will send you all the details.